Hi everyone, it's Jeanine Ganier. I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is our weekly focus and we're going to be talking about bookings. So hopefully everyone's been out there filling their calendars after the training that our National Executive Director, Donna McDonald, did for us last week. So now that we have the bookings on our calendar, we need to be coaching our host to have a successful show. Think of it kind of like as a roadmap. And your host doesn't quite know how to get to that destination without your help. So that's what host coaching is. We're helping our host have a great show. So let me share my screen and pull up my PowerPoint here. And let me go into play mode. There we go. So I didn't make this up, the saying, but host coaching is where you earn your paycheck and at the show is where you pick it up. And that's so, so true. All the work that you put into your show beforehand is going to pay off the night of your show. All right, so the three main goals of host coaching are to increase the number of guests. So as you guys know, the more people who attend, the more fun and energetic it's going to be. And a larger party also increases the host rewards as well as your commission and your bookings. We want to ensure a great party experience. If your host is happy and prepared, then you'll have happy guests, more bookings, and the host will probably do business with you again in the future. And of course, you want to build your team. Hosts are a great source of new recruits, so always be sure to offer the opportunity to your host. So let me ask you to take a minute and think about what you're doing right now for host coaching. The big question is, do you have a system? It really is all about finding a system, one that will work for you, and sticking to it. I personally keep track of what I have to do on my Google Calendar. You can set reminders and it notifies you when you need to do things. My friend Crystal Jackson taught me this a couple years ago, and honestly, I don't know what I'd do without it. So I've shared a link in the post today on how you can set up a Google Calendar if you haven't already. So as quickly as I can today, I'm going to go over cooking parties and virtual parties. They are similar as far as what we want to get across to our host, but the method of delivery can be different. Many virtual consultants prefer to do a host group to coach their host. And this gives them one place to talk to all the hosts at the same time. It's good to create a friendly competition, and it's easy to share daily tips. It's best to communicate privately, I feel, when you're setting the party up and when you're kind of coaching them along on what to do in the very beginning, either by phone, email, text, or Facebook Messenger. Alrighty, so at the cooking show, you want to start coaching your future host right away. Don't worry about the line or the time. Coach them right there and then. If you have multiple future hosts, you can coach them all together. Go over the packet and set your expectations right there and then. You can ask guests to put their orders on the table. I usually ask them just to turn them upside down. I'll be drawing from the bottom, and I'll call you over when it's time to do your order. And what that does, it just gets rid of that dreaded line forming around where you're sitting. So you want to carry host packets with you. You want to save on postage, of course, and get them excited about their party right away. Catalogs equal excitement. You want to give them 2 to 3 catalogs, 1 to 2 to share, to collect those outside orders, and then the other one is for the host. I encourage them to scribble all over it, circle everything that they want, and then put their name on the front of it. You want them to fill out their party date and details on this host information checklist, which you'll find on PC University under host coaching. This solidifies their show and lets them know that you're going to help them have a successful a successful party, and that you're going to work alongside them. Okay. And it lets them know, honestly, that you take your business serious. You want to tell them to invite 40 to 50. Okay. The reason is we all know that 15 will say yes, 12 are going to show up. And then if they just get 10 outside orders from the other 25, they're going to have that $1,000 show 99% of the time. And we call that the 40 to 50 equals 12, which equals 12 plus the 10 rule. Now, for a virtual party, you want to find out what month they're interested in. Send them the virtual dates for that month and ask them at that time to please fill out your Google Host information request form. I do this right on the party because I feel it creates momentum for other people to book. It solidifies their commitment once again to the party, and it shows their interest in the business. And I always like to find that out ahead of time. All right. You want to congratulate the host on the bookings right there on the party with a fun post. I feel like that also encourages more people to book parties. You want to send your virtual host 1 to 3 catalogs. That's really a personal preference. Some people like to just send 1. I prefer to send 2 to 3 because I want them, of course, to keep 1 for themselves, and then I want them to share those other 2 catalogs to collect outside orders because not everyone is on Facebook. Now, the biggest complaint that most hosts have is that they don't know what to do next. So communication is key. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it. The virtual party planner from the Pampered Chef website is going to help you do just that. You can use it as a checklist to make sure you don't forget to do anything. So, here is your must-do host coaching for cooking shows. Of course, you want to friend request them right away so that you can set up a Facebook event to run alongside their party. And then, if you're Facebook friends, when you message your host, she'll actually see your message. You want to explain to your host how our host plan works. This part is so important for cooking and virtual parties. So even if they've hosted a show before, I always go over how our host plan works with them. How will they get to the goal if they don't know how to get there, right? So you can do this over the phone, or you can Facebook message them a video of yourself explaining it. That keeps you from chasing them, and you can see when they've watched the video. So get them to create a wish list early on in the process. The bigger their wish list, the more they know they have to work for it. And you want to explain how to build a big guest list. And you can do that by using the top 40 list on PC University. Inform them of the many ways to invite and explain how they cannot rely on Facebook invitations alone. You want to have weekly contact with your host from various forms. You can email your host weekly with their next steps for the party. You can reinforce the tips that you've given them already. You can post in the Facebook parties, which means you need to be Facebook friends. Every day you could put a recipe, a tip, a video, and you can use Post My Party or SendShare to do that so you're not having to post manually if you like. I private message them, I text them, I befriend them because guess what? People don't cancel parties on people they like. Okay, so I like to make them an invitation picture just like the one you see here. You can go to the Pampered Chef website, put all the information in for the party, and you'll notice I have the party link there at the bottom. And then all I do is take a screenshot of it so it's a picture and I can text it or Facebook message it to them. So again, you're going to make sure that your cooking show host understands why they need to invite a lot of people with that rule we talked about a few minutes ago. Have your host be your booking agent. This is so important. Explain to your host that not everyone is going to be able to come. So when they say they can't come, give her the words to say, to ask for an order, or to encourage them to book their own party. Let her know what's in it for her. She can spread out those half-price future party picks over several shows down the road, so she's not spending all of her money all at once. Of course, you want to pick yummy recipes to demo, just like this new pizza salad and sangria theme that is sweeping the nation right now. Ask them to post their recipe choice they picked on their party. And then, of course, you can send them a picture to send to their friends and get them excited about it. And they can also use that picture as a reminder to text their friends or Facebook message them 1 to 2 days before their party. Now you want to, of course, give your cooking show host catalogs as well. I usually do 2 to 3, one again for the host to write on and make her wish list, the other 2 to collect those outside orders. And then at the end of a cooking show, I always leave my host by going over how our host plan works again to make sure she understands it, how she cannot use her free money towards her half price selections or her host special. And then I always leave them with an incentive to reach like 2 levels up. Okay. And it could be something small. It doesn't have to be something big, but you'd be surprised how they will work to get something free from you, a little incentive. Okay. So here are some suggestions of things you can say in your weekly communications. And you can take a picture of this if you like, or do a screenshot if you're on your computer or your phone. Now, if your host isn't responding, ask her, what's her favorite form of communication? Maybe she's not responding because she's not seeing the things you're sending to them, right? So you definitely want to take advantage of that. And there's that top 40 list again, right there. And these are just some of the things you can say to her. There's all kinds of things you can do for communication. All right. So I put some of these things in red. Those are things that are the same for cooking shows and virtual parties. Okay. So you want to send your Google host information form as soon as they expressed interest in the party, like we talked about before. And this is important because you're going to find out what they think about being a Pampered Chef consultant, but also what their party goal is. If they put they're only interested in earning $20 in free products, you know that you have your work cut out for you, and you're really going to have to host coach. Send them a friend request as soon as they book, of course, so you can set up their Facebook party. And then I love having at least one phone call with my virtual host if possible. Sometimes the reason they have a virtual party is because they're not really into being on the phone. So if I can't get them on the phone, I'll send them my video about how our host plan works. But if I can, I like to at least have one live conversation with them. And in that conversation, of course, I'm going to share with them how to build a big list by using that top 40 list. And you want her to invite from all areas of her life, not just people on Facebook. You want to make sure that they private message their guests either before they invited them or right after they invited them, letting them know that they invited them to their party and that they hope they're going to join us. And then I just made this new picture with some of our new products to give to my host to send to her friends when she's private messaging them or texting them. Okay. Sometimes people don't like to just be dumped in a group. So it's really important to stress how important that personal touch is. Okay. Talk to them about inviting, like we said before, many different ways, and then get them to not add more than 250 people. If I have a host that adds 250 people, I get her to start deleting some of them because then we can't see who's interacting and who has seen the post. Okay. So that's really important to do. Okay, this is what else we want to do for our virtual host is, hang on, I want to just see what slide I was on because I think I just turned my page too quickly. Oh, I know I didn't. Of course, you want to get them to do the wish list, have them be your booking agent, just like a cooking show, and then send them posts, okay? Use that host coaching group. If you don't know about that, just ask your director. Susan Pham started it on our organization, and all directors have that. So if you haven't seen it, just ask your director. The host coaching group is nice because it creates a friendly little competition, and it's a great way to coach your host at the same time. Okay. If your host sales are low, get her to send out that party link to everyone. That can truly raise the sales on the show. These are just examples of my little short videos that I send to my virtual host explaining the host program. And then also the other one talks about kit credit. Now, It doesn't matter how you track it, just find a way. Pampered Chefs worked so hard to make resources available for us. So the host information and checklist is the one that I use for cooking shows, and that's what I had them fill out right at the cooking show. And then here's the virtual host profile and host coaching checklist that Pampered Chef did for us, which I love. Both of these are 2-pagers. I just have them on here so you can see them, and they are on the Pampered Chef website. So you guys, host coaching is a partnership between you and your host. It's going to help them have a great show, get lots of products, be super happy, and you're going to have a great paycheck. Is it worth doing? Absolutely. Make sure you do it. So thank you so much for joining me on this video. Here's to a great week where we talk about host coaching, and get on out there and coach, coach, coach. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye-bye.